Hi everyone, welcome to this yoga class with me, Hannah Pocket. Today we're looking at safe techniques for our backbending postures. We'll break down a few of the more common backbending poses in today's class, but these techniques can be applied to any backbending pose that you come across in a yoga class. The main focus will be engaging all the muscles of our core. So when we say core, we often just think of the superficial ab muscles, like the six pack. But when we say core, in regard to our back bends, what we're really talking about is the deep layer of core muscles that run underneath the abs, our transverse abdominis, our quads, and our glutes. So these big muscle groups, when we activate them, they're able to hold the weight of the body as we go back into our back bends. So this protects the smaller muscles of the back from working too hard and potentially getting strained, and it also prevents us from dumping out weight in the vertebrae of the spine. We'll start today's class seated, so make yourself comfortable, and when you're ready to find stillness, allow the eyes to close down. Allowing yourself these first few moments to arrive in your space. Noticing the sensations in your body. Noticing the rhythm of your breath. As always, this practice is your own, so feel free to modify or adapt any of the poses as we run through the class. In a moment, we'll start our practice with some deep belly breaths. So you might like to place both hands on the belly, and just to tune in to where you're currently sending the breath in the body. Noticing if your breath is shallow, up in the top of the chest. Maybe your breath is more in the middle, around the rib cage, the diaphragm. Or maybe your breath is already quite deep and you can feel that movement in the belly. And as you tune into your breath, I'd like to invite you to start deepening each breath in. So as you inhale through the nose, draw the breath right down into the base of the belly. Feel the belly soften and expand like you're filling up a balloon. Then as you exhale, slight engagement as you draw the belly back in towards the spine. Keep taking these deep belly breaths. Every inhale filling the belly. See how much you can let it expand. Every exhale, slight engagement as you draw the belly back in towards the spine. Every inhale becoming a little bit deeper. Every breath out becoming a little bit slower. Let's take one last deep belly breath. And then allow the breath to drop back down into an easy, natural rhythm. No effort. Taking a deep breath in, lift the chin all the way up to the ceiling, opening the throat. Slow exhale, chin to chest. Pausing here, lace the fingers, place the hands on the back of the head. And pause here for a moment to feel the weight of the arms. Every inhale fills the belly, let it expand. Every exhale, neck and shoulders soften. Deep breath in as you lift the chin and the chest, elbows open wide. Exhale, rounding down, chin to chest, elbows draw in. Inhale, opening up, lift the chest high. Exhale, round down, draw the elbows in towards the belly. One more breath in. And out. Releasing the hands, find your way up onto all fours as we prepare for cat-cow. Checking the shoulders stack above the wrists and the hips are stacked above the knees. Take the awareness to the very base of your spine. Moving slow, lift the tailbone up to the ceiling, drop the belly low, then lift the chest and the gaze. Deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly in tight to the spine, push into the hands, round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding down, squeeze the glutes, engage the shoulders. One more inhale. And exhale. Find a neutral spine, tabletop, and then step the knees together to help with our balance as we reach the right arm out in front of us and the left leg out behind. Really reach through the fingers and point through the toes. Stretch the body as long as you can. Then lift the arm and leg up a little bit higher so we're engaging the muscles in the shoulders and the glutes. Deep breath in as you stretch long. Then as you exhale, round the back, elbow to belly, knee to nose. Really squeeze the core as you come in. Inhale, opening up, stretch long, lift the arm and leg high. Exhale, curl in, squeeze the core. One more inhale. And exhale. Come back to all fours, knees together. Preparing for the other side, lift the left arm up high and stretch the right leg out long. Again, really reach fingertips to toes, stretch as long as you can. Then lift the arm and leg up a little bit higher to engage the shoulders and the glutes. Deep breath in. Exhale as you curl in tight. Elbow to belly, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch long, reach high. Exhale, curl in. One more inhale. And exhale. Coming back to all fours. Check your toes are at the very back of your mat as we prepare for Anahata, heart opening pose. So lift your tailbone up to the ceiling once more, drop the belly low. Keep the hips stacked over the knees as you start to walk the hands forward towards the front of the mat. And keep the gaze lifted as you start to melt the heart down towards the floor. Only come as low as is comfortable for your shoulders. So maybe the chin and chest is floating in space. Maybe you come all the way down to the mat. If you feel any strain in the neck, tuck the chin, maybe you rest the forehead down. Pausing here to take some deep breaths into the shoulders. Last breath. As you slide yourself forward, ground the elbows, find Sphinx. So the shoulders stack above elbows and we tuck the elbows in nice and tight to the rib cage. Fingers spread wide as we push the palms, forearms and elbows down into the mat. Lift and open the chest. Squeeze the glutes. Press the thighs down into the floor so the lower back is active here. And you might like to traction your arms backwards on the mat as if you're trying to drag your body forwards. Feel that length in the core, broaden the collarbones. Last breath, stay active. Then carefully release down onto your belly. Slide your hands backwards until the tips of the fingers are in line with the tops of the shoulders. Bring the feet together. Point the toes. Push the tops of the feet down into the mat. Now squeeze your thighs and push your legs down into the mat as well. Glutes switch on, squeeze your butt cheeks together. Draw the lower ribs in. Feel that core engage, almost as if you're trying to lift up the ribs off the mat. Elbows stay tucked in tight to the side. Then keeping all of that engagement in the lower body, deep breath in as you float the chest forwards and up. In our Cobra, we only come as high as where we can hold without the help of the hands. So you can check by floating the hands, then carefully placing them back on the mat. This way we're working the muscles in the back of the body rather than using the arms to push ourselves up and bend deeper. So we're back bending here from a place of strength. We can hold ourselves at that range rather than forcing excessive range using the arms. One more breath. Release back down. It might feel nice to give the hips a little wiggle out side to side here. Then when you're ready, tuck the toes, push into the hands, send your hips up and back for your first downward dog. You can take any movements that feel good here. So maybe that's pedaling out through the feet. Taking some gentle twists. Or releasing the head and the neck. And finding stillness. Lift the heels up as high as you can. Ripple through the spine as you roll forward into a high plank, grounding your back. Pause when the shoulders stack above the wrists. Keep the shoulders engaged here, slightly rounding the upper back as we take the knees down to the ground, finding our diagonal line, knees, hips, shoulders, ears. So we're going to keep this diagonal line in the body as we lower down to the ground super slow. Keep control all the way down and find somewhere on your journey towards the mat to pause. Hover here for one breath. You can hover as high or as low to the mat as you like. And then we'll all meet in our belly for another Cobra. So checking the fingertips are in line with the tops of the shoulders, hugging the elbows in nice and tight to the side. Push the tops of the feet, the thighs and the hips all down into the mat. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Draw the lower ribs in, almost as if you're trying to lift them up off the mat. Then holding all of that engagement, deep breath in as we float the chest forwards and up. Soft shoulders. Gaze down to the mat in front of us as we draw the chin in close to the neck. And checking you can hover your hands and hold your position. One more breath. Then carefully releasing back down. Tuck the toes, push into the hands. Send the hips up and back. Downward dog. Continue to play with movement here if that feels good in your body. Finding stillness. Lift the heels high around the back as you roll forward into a high plank. Shoulders stack above wrists. Push into the hands round the upper back, engaging the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes. So option 1 is coming down again on the knees, finding your diagonal line, lowering with control, and remembering to hold that hover for at least 1 breath before coming down to your belly for Cobra. Option 2, if you find it easy to lower down with control on the knees, then try coming down in plank position. So from our high plank, we'll slowly lower halfway, and then we'll hold our hover when the shoulders are in line with the elbows. Everything's squeezing in super tight towards the midline of the body. Then you can either come down to your belly and take Cobra like before, or you can flip the feet and lift the thighs for up dog. Whether you're in Cobra or up dog, we want the same level of engagement. So push the feet down into the mat, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Draw the lower belly, the lower ribs in, engaging the core. Soft shoulders. As you draw the head back in space, stay long in the back of the neck. 1 last breath. And take it back to downward dog when you're ready. And starting to take lots of little tiny steps. Walk the feet up towards the hands. We'll all meet in ragdoll at the top of the mat. Hands might catch elbows as you allow the upper body and the head to hang heavy. Deep breaths into the belly here. So every inhale, feel the belly soften and expand. Maybe you can feel it pressing into your thighs. As you exhale, allow the head, neck and shoulders to soften. Releasing the arms, slowly start to roll yourself up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. The chin stays tucked to the chest until the very last moment. And as you stack the head on top of the shoulders, open the palms to the front of the room and close down the eyes. And taking a moment to ground ourselves here in our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Feeling the soles of our feet on the mat. Lift both kneecaps to engage the thighs. Squeeze the glutes. Lower ribs draw in. Shoulders soft. Crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Fingers spread wide. Awareness on the breath. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms sweep up, palms meet above the head as we stretch tall, squeeze the glutes. Exhale as you fold forward, hinging from the hips. Remember to bend the knees if you need to take the belly to the thighs. Then see if you can tuck the chin and smush the face right into the knees or the shins. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back as you open the chest. Exhale, fold down, and curling in. Right foot steps back, lowering the back knee, coming up into your low lunge. Checking your right knee is under the right hip, and we're looking for a rough right angle in the left leg. Might be helpful to take the hands to the hips to check they're even. And then we're bringing the pubic bone up towards the belly button. Feel how you start to tip the pelvis up. You can feel the stretch in this right thigh. Squeezing both thighs now, then switching on the glutes. Everything's holding really solid in our base. Lacing the fingers, place the hands on the very top of the left thigh, right up here at this crease with the hip. As you start to push down into the hands and straighten the arms, feel how that lifts and opens the chest. So we're just coming into a gentle back bend here. Thighs and glutes stay switched on. Squeeze them as tight as you can. Once you've created as much space as you can between the thigh and the belly, take one hand to the lower ribs and one hand to the chest. This bottom hand is checking that the ribs aren't flaring out. We're keeping them tucked in, core engaged. Then start to send your breastbone up into that top hand. So we're lifting the chest up towards the ceiling. Thighs and glutes stay strong. One more breath. Releasing the hands, plant them either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to plank. Push into the hands, round the upper back to engage the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes. Choose how you'd like to come down, with or without the knees, your choice. But make sure you come down with control, nice and slow, and that you're holding your hover for one breath. Building your upper body strength. Then choose your back bend, Cobra or up dog. Thighs and glutes firing up here. Exhale, downward dog. And bringing the feet together at the back of the mat. Lift the heels high as you roll forward into a high plank, shoulders stack above wrists. Keep pushing evenly into both hands, shoulders stay strong. As you drop both heels over to the left, stacking the feet one on top of the other and flexing them. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes and keep the hips lifting high. Deep breaths into the belly here. Last breath. Rolling back onto the toes, send the hips up and back, downward dog. Taking the gaze between the hands, right foot steps forward, lowering the back knee. Inhale, just coming to fingertips as you lift and open the chest. Exhale, stepping forwards into fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise up, palms meet. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, stretch up, switch on the glutes. Exhale, folding down, hinging from the hips. Bending the knees so the belly can rest on the thighs, forehead to knees or shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, long neck. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back. Lowering the back knee. Inhale, finding your low lunge. So again, just checking in with the legs. Left knee stacked under left hip. A rough right angle in the right leg. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Stay strong in your foundation. As you lace the fingers and place the hands on the very top of the right thigh. Slowly start to push into the hands, straighten the arms. Feel the belly lift away from the thigh and the chest open towards the ceiling. Thighs and glutes are still fired up. As we take one hand to the lower ribs and the other to the middle of the chest. Lower hand is a reminder to keep these lower ribs drawing in. Feel the core switch on. Top hand, push the breastbone up into the hand as you lift the chest towards the ceiling. Taking some deep breaths here. Every inhale a reminder for us to push that breastbone up into the hand. Every exhale a reminder for us to engage the glutes, thighs and core. Last breath. Releasing the hands, plant them on the mat either side of the foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee. Engage the shoulders as you step back to plank. Keep the shoulders strong, squeeze your butt. Choose how you'd like to lower down with or without the knees, nice and slow. Hold your hover for one breath. Then choosing your back bend, inhale for Cobra or flip the feet and lift the thighs for up dog. Everyone squeezing the glute as hard as you can. We'll take it back to downward dog. As always, feel free to move here if that's what your body needs. And then bringing your feet together at the back of the mat. Lift the heels as high as you can as you round the back, roll forward into high plank, shoulders stacked above wrists. Press evenly into the hands, keep the shoulders strong as you drop both heels over to the right, stacking the feet and flexing them, toes draw in towards the shins. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes, keep the hips lifting high. Deep breaths into the belly. Last breath. Rolling back onto the toes, send hips up and back, downward dog. Taking the gaze between the hands, left foot steps forwards, lower the back knee. Inhale as you come up onto fingertips, open the chest. Exhale, step forwards into your fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Check your thighs and glutes are switched on as you breathe in, send the arms high. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze to the toes. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. This time keep the back heel lifted as high as you can, so working into the flexibility of the toes. Thigh stays switched on as we push the back of the thigh up towards the ceiling. Keep the front knee stacked over front ankle as we rise up. Crescent lunge. Mindful of this front knee, keep it tracking towards the little toe, so we're externally rotating the thigh. Legs stay strong, really squeeze as you lace the fingers. Place the hands on the very top of the thigh, just where it meets the hip. Again, push into the palms, straighten the arms. Use this to create space as you lift and open the chest. Then keeping that space you've created, between the belly and the thigh. Take one hand to the lower ribs, a reminder to keep them pulling in, core engaged. Other hand comes to the chest. Legs and core stay strong as every breath in lifts the chest open towards the ceiling. Push into that hand as you lift. Every exhale, a reminder for us to squeeze the thighs, glutes and core. Working with the breath here. Stay strong. Last breath. Releasing the hands, plant them on the mat, step it back to plank. Choose your vinyasa with or without the knees. Everything squeezing tight into the midline of the body. Choose your back bends, cobra or up dog. Soft shoulders, strong glutes. Exhale, downward dog. And deep breaths into the belly here. And bringing the feet together at the back of the mat. Lift the heels high as you round the back, roll forward into high plank, shoulders stack above wrists. Option 1, drop both heels over to the left, stack the feet and flex them. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Option 2, lift the right arm up to the ceiling, coming into your side plank. Using the breath here as we hold strong. Last breath. Option 1, take it back to your downward dog, then step the right foot forward between the hands. Option 2, lift the right leg into the air and slowly draw the knee into the chest. You can always use this right hand to support the leg or catch the foot, if that helps. And with control, we're going to step that right foot all the way to the top of the mat. So choose your option, and then we'll all meet in crescent lunge. Arms reaching for the sky. Planting the hands, step forwards into fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Switch on the thighs and glutes. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift as you draw the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Left leg steps back. Keeping the back heel as high as you can. Squeeze the back thigh and push it up in space. Back leg stays super strong. Front knee stays stacked over front ankle as we rise up into our high lunge. Again, paying close attention. We don't want this knee dropping inside the big toe. So just traction it out towards the little toe, and that will help you externally rotate the thigh and keep the knee safe. Thighs and glutes stay fired up as we lace the fingers, placing the hands on the very top of the thigh. Then starting to push into the hands, straighten the arms. Use this to create space in the body as we open through the chest. Then taking one hand to lower ribs. Check they're drawing in and the core is engaged. One hand to the chest. Start pushing that breastbone up into your hand as if you want to show your chest to the sky. Legs, glutes and core stay strong as we breathe here. Every inhale lifting and opening the chest. Every exhale a reminder for us to engage. Squeeze everything as tight as you can. Last breath. Releasing the hands, plant them on the mat. Engage the shoulders as you step back to plank. Choose your vinyasa with or without the knees. Take it slow. Choose your back bend. Deep breath in, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, downward dog. Deep breaths into the belly here. And then bringing your feet together at the back of the mat. Lift the heels as high as you can, roll forward into a high plank, shoulders stack above wrists. Shoulders stay strong as we drop both heels over to the right, stack the feet and flex them. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Option 1, holding here in your twisted plank. Option 2, lift the left arm up to the sky. Side plank. Whichever option you choose, deep breaths into the belly. Last breath. Option 1, take it back to downward dog, then step the left foot to the front of the mat. Option 2, lift the left leg high, slowly draw the knee into the chest. Remember, you can use the hand for support if you like, as we slowly step that left foot to the top of the mat. Choose your option and we'll all meet in crescent lunge. Arms reaching for the sky. Planting the hands, step forwards into fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, stretch up. Pausing here as we prepare for a gentle standing back bend. So lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs. Check you're squeezing your butt. Draw the lower ribs in to engage the core, then start lifting this chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe you start to gently draw those arms back in space. Keep your foundation strong, one more breath. Then super slow, hinging from the hips. We'll release all the way down into our fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold down, curl in. Step or jump the feet back to plank. And then place the knees down on the ground as we come into a high kneeling position, preparing for camel. So let's start by tucking the toes under. Squeezing the thighs, squeezing the glutes, drawing the lower ribs in to keep this core engaged. So this whole middle section of the body is squeezing in tight to the midline. Then start to send the hips forwards in space. Do you see how sending the hips forwards is already starting to lift and open the chest? Again, one hand might come to the lower ribs to check that they're pulling in, keeping the core engaged, and the other hand might come to the top of the chest. As you breathe here, every inhale pushes this chest up into the hand. Feel it lift and open. Every exhale, a reminder first to engage thighs, glutes, core. Option 1 is keeping the chin tucked and the gaze looking forward. Option 2, carefully lift the gaze up to the ceiling, but make sure you keep length in the back of the neck. So we're holding our head here, using our deep neck muscles rather than letting it like flop back and crunch the vertebrae at the back of the neck. So your choice how high you lift the gaze. Remember, the further you take back the head, the more weight you're carrying with the rest of those muscles, so go easy. Last breath, really squeeze. And carefully release the feet. Hips sink back onto the heels. Let's take a child's pose. Arms reach forward. And head rest down towards the floor. Taking some deep breaths into the lower back. Last breath. And slowly starting to roll yourself back up to kneeling. And drop the hips to the side. Swing the legs round the front as we come down for bridge. So we're taking ourselves down onto our backs. Feet hip width apart, toes facing forwards. And check you can tickle the heels with your fingertips. They're nice and close into the body. From here, push into the feet, squeeze the glutes. Start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. We're peeling the spine off the ground one vertebrae at a time. So see if you can really articulate the movement into the spine. When you reach the top, pause here for one breath. Push into the feet, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips even higher. And then slowly start to release the spine back to the mat. Vertebrae by vertebrae. One more round. Push into the feet, squeeze the glutes. Slowly lift the hips up off the ground. Feeling each individual vertebrae lift up until you reach the top. Push into the feet, squeeze the glutes. One more breath. And see how slowly you can release your spine back to the ground. And bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Maybe take a little rock side to side if that feels good. Option 1 is holding here just as you are. Option 2, send the legs straight up to the ceiling. This is a really nice place to hang out and practice your deep belly breaths. Option 3, Halasana. Taking the hands under the hips for support as you lift the hips up high. Then either bending the knees to rest them on the forehead or straightening out the legs, toes reaching for the ground behind you. If the toes don't reach the ground, that's okay. They can just hover here in space, as long as you keep your hands on your lower back for support. And whichever option you've chosen today, see if you can soften the gaze or close down the eyes, taking this opportunity to draw your awareness inwards. Last breath. And if you're in Halasana, you can slowly start to release down, using your hands for support under the hips, keeping the legs long to act as counterweights, feeling each individual vertebrae unfold onto the mat beneath you. And then we'll all meet in a full body stretch, reaching fingertips to toes. And then it might feel good to release the wrists and the ankles here. And then taking the arms out wide to the sides in a T if you have the space. Otherwise you can bend the elbows, cactus arms. Shuffling the hips all the way over to the left-hand side of the mat. Draw the left knee in tight to the chest, then slowly guide that leg over to the right. We're just letting the leg hang wherever it ends up. No strain. And deep breaths into the belly as you encourage that leg to become heavy. Last breath. Easing back to center. And when you're ready, slide the hips all the way over to the right hand side of the mat. Draw the right knee in tight to the chest. And then slowly guide that knee over to the left. Again, we're just letting that leg hang heavy. Deep breaths into the belly. Last breath. Slowly bring yourself back to center. And then take this final minute to take any final movements your body might need from you today. And then get yourself ready to finish your practice on your back for Shavasana. So if you need a moment to grab a blanket or some extra layers to get cozy, please do. And then when you're ready, we'll lie ourselves down on our backs, taking the feet nice and wide apart, palms face up, space between the arms and the body. And as the body becomes still, allow the eyes to close down. Taking your awareness right down to the tips of your toes. The tips of your toes are relaxing. The tips of your toes are relaxed. The soles of your feet are relaxed. The tops of your feet are relaxed. Your ankles and calves are relaxed. Thighs and hips relaxed. Abdomen and rib cage relax. Chest and shoulders completely relax. And taking your awareness right down to the tips of your fingers. The tips of your fingers are relaxing. The tips of your fingers are relaxed. The palms of your hands are relaxed. The backs of your hands are relaxed. Wrists and forearms relax. Elbows and upper arms completely relax. And taking your awareness right down to the base of your spine. Gradually let your awareness travel up, vertebrae by vertebrae, as you feel your lower back relax, feeling your middle back relax, feeling your upper back relax, back of the neck and throat completely relax, chin and jaw relax, mouth and nose relax, cheeks feel soft, eyes feel heavy. Any remaining tension just melts away from your forehead as you feel your eyebrows completely relax. And bringing your awareness into the whole of your body now. The whole of your body feels deeply, completely relaxed. And as you start to come back into the space around you, you might like to bring some small movements into your fingers and your toes. Maybe it would feel good to take a stretch. And in your own time, keeping your eyes closed, carefully make your way up to a comfortable seat. Palms come together at heart center. And as we bow our heads, let's take these last few moments to acknowledge something that we're grateful for today. Namaste.